So today I'm going to show you everything that we are doing for camping on the ketogenic diet. I have a family of 4 right now on the ketogenic diet. Looks like an insane amount of food. Sometimes we do have people visiting us for dinner, and then there's some extra stuff, like I got some extra hot dogs that are just in case life doesn't work out quite as planned. So I had all this laid out because I'm kind of going through and packing what we're doing for camping this coming weekend, and I thought I would share with you. So I'm just going to go through what we're doing. So first of all, we have water bottles, and this one's mine. The kids have clean canteens. This is the little guys, and having the lids on these can really help keep them from spilling. And then we use the Berkey. So even though there's potable water at our campsite, which means that the water's safe to drink, I find it kind of messes up our digestive system oddly more than a lot of different foods do. So I just bring the Berkey with me, and it makes it, I put it at the end of a picnic table, and it makes it super easy for the kids to fill up their water bottles as needed. We also use it's like a campsite shower that we don't use as a shower, but we use it with the spigot to wash kids' hands. So they're not washing their hands in filtered water, but we'll fill up that campsite shower to wash their hands. We have bubbly water, of course. And so that's for me. For the kids, kind of while they're waiting for me to cook or whatever, we have different peanuts that can be shelled and sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. And those are good around the campfire, sort of as something for them to do. And then they can just either spit the stuff into the campfire, or they can throw the shells into the campfire, which is great fun to do anything that involves playing with fire for kids. So this is something that's definitely keto friendly. Even though it's a little bit higher carbs, it takes them so long to get any of the kernels out of the shells that I don't super worry about it. The first night that we're there, we have fathead dough, and I'll link to all of the recipes down below. So we have fathead dough that I've made into sort of flatbread, and I'll make sandwiches on that. We have organic salami from Costco. For breakfast, we pre-bake our bacon, and this is something that's some people want to make everything from scratch when they go camping. Some people want to buy like everything, just add water. So there's like 2 trains of thought, and this is sort of in the middle where I pre-bake everything possible. And then we'll heat this up on the camp stove in the morning. And so while I'm heating up water for coffee, which is so important, or I'm heating up a pan to make eggs in, first we'll just put in some of this bacon, and it's pre-baked, but I left it's still pretty greasy, so it'll still release some more grease as it's going, and then we can use that grease to cook our eggs in. Eggs are something you either be super careful or get one of those little camping egg containers. I didn't bring one in to show you, but those will keep your eggs from getting smashed, because smashed eggs over everything will kind of ruin your cooler. Moving along to lunch, we'll have some more of the salami, which we can wrap in lettuce. Where's our lettuce? So I just I'll rinse these and wrap them in paper towels before we go. The romaine hearts. And so then we can wrap our salami, or we can wrap different, Applegate lunch meat is pretty good in that. And then we have, this is chili lime mayonnaise that I've made ahead of time. At home I keep it in mason jars. For camping, plastic is the way to go. A kid accidentally dropping a glass jar in a campsite is just a nightmare. And our goal is to have happy campers, not to have messy glass all over the place. It's something that's just a compromise that you can do and makes everything more enjoyable and fun for everybody. Epic bars, I'm throwing in a handful of these. These aren't super keto friendly, but I find that my kids have a pretty high tolerance for staying in ketosis and being especially outdoors. They're just burning so much energy that the little bit extra carbs isn't going to hurt them. This is all. So I do our sausage right now. I've been doing with 2 parts turkey and 1 part pork. This is natural pork. When you're looking for pork at the store, if you can't find organic, grass-fed, foraged pork, then at least try to find the one that doesn't have MSG. And so this is that. I had to look through Safeway quite a bit to find that. So I will make some breakfast sausage, and again, just like the bacon, I'm going to pre-cook it so it's a little bit undercooked. So then all I have to do is heat it up in the pan in the morning. String cheese, super easy. I know lots of packaging. We'll just bring some trash bags to throw all the packaging away. But if you've ever been camping with kids, you know that an overzealous child, because they do get excited, it's a new experience, can easily dump a whole cube of cheese in the dusty camp dirt on accident, and then the whole cheese is gone. So string cheese or individually packaged cheese is kind of the way to go. We talked about our peanuts. We have, I'm not sure if you can see, just individually wrapped seaweed here. It's high in iodine, I suppose, but it's not anything other than kind of a novelty chip type treat for my kids. Coffee. So I have tried the Percolator Coffee before for camping, and really all I've gotten is gritty, watered down coffee that does not give me my caffeine fix. This is Four Sigmatic mushroom coffee. I like it a lot. Like for an instant coffee, it's really good. So this is just instant. So all I need to do is on the camp stove, heat up some water in the morning. And that's like, to me, the best part of camping is waking up a little bit before the kids. They're kind of coming out of the tent all sleepy, and I've got my cup of coffee and I'm looking out at the lake as the sun comes up, which we'll talk in another video about kind of realistic expectations for how much your children are going to sleep camping, which is not much. And then just in case, we have cold brew. And so this is cold brew I'm making at home. I'll probably transfer this to a plastic container, or I'll take my chances with this glass one and cold brew in there. For veggies, on a ketogenic diet, you just do so much green stuff. So I've got a big pack of asparagus, and asparagus is good because it can go on the grill and it can just go right across the grates. And then you can dip it in some, like the chili lime mayonnaise dressing dip type thing is a great way to add healthy fats. It's something that's easy to do on the grill. And then we also have celery, which is also something easy to do on the grill. And we'll bring some cream cheese to spread in the celery. And then this is probiotic cream cheese. Try and get a few probiotics in the kids as we're going. In case we catch a fish, which we're definitely planning on doing, we have some citrus that we can just squeeze over the fish. And so all I do to cook that is drizzle a little bit of avocado oil, and I will bring this whole container, it's plastic. So drizzle a whole container or a little bit of avocado oil over the fish. After you clean it out, leave the skin on. I usually chop the head off because it's like disturbing. Sprinkle with salt and pepper, so we definitely want to bring salt and pepper. And then grill it kind of over medium-high heat just for a few minutes on each side. And you'll know if it's time to turn because it'll turn easily. If you try to turn it too soon, the skin will start coming off and it's kind of a big mess on the grill. But if you got it just right, it should turn with a metal spatula pretty easily. And then once it comes off the grill, adding a little butter. Let me see, is this butter? No. So I just, plastic container of butter is easier than trying to wrap up a little cube of butter. So adding a little bit of butter gives us healthy fats, and a squeeze of lemon or lime just gives it that flavor. And you'll find that like kids that caught their own fish, or you caught it and they reeled it in, they're way more likely to eat that fish than they would at home. So that's kind of something that's really fun about camping, is like kids are so active and they're so hungry. That fresh air just makes them so hungry that they eat everything. So like I said, this seems like a lot of food. So we've got our veggies. Celery can be grilled as well. It's good off the grill. And it's kind of like a finger food. Like they can just eat it as a spear instead of having to chop everything up for them. Nuts, and then I just get, a lot of this I just get at Costco. So these are from Costco. Cashews are a little high in carbs, but again, my kids just burn it right off. Like I can tell they're still in ketosis, they're fine. And so these are good. If we go on a little day hike, I'll bring this and have them bring their water bottle. This is kind of our treat, like when we get to the top of the mountain or we get to the end of the hike or the waterfall or whatever, is they get a package of nuts and they get to choose what they get before they go. Hamburgers. So the first night we're there, I'm going to use raw meat. I tend to just pre-cook all of my meat because raw meat, when you're camping, just the kind of likelihood that it's going to get all over the cooler makes it for a really unpleasant camping trip. So I try to pre-cook everything or buy it pre-cooked, like the hot dogs. But we're going to do guacamole burgers with ground beef, which is fine right now, and then just packaged guacamole again, guacamole. Again, this is from Costco, so you can get this in a big pack. And it's just one less thing to do, one less, like guacamole isn't hard to make, but it's one less bowl to wash when you're already washing all of your dishes and everything after cooking, and kids are tired and ready to go to bed, or they want to go back to the lake, or they want to go out on the boat. I don't have a ton of patience for doing tons and tons of dishes camping. So we have our guacamole. This is good. Like my kids will dip celery in guacamole. I'm not sure if that's weird. They do that. It's also a good sauce, like on top of that lettuce with the salami. Like you can just put some guacamole and that gives them those healthy fats in with the avocado oil mayonnaise. Mustard, I don't transfer this to a different container, that's fine. Moon cheese, this is from Costco. I'm sure it's not at all Costco's yet, but it's great. It's just cheese and it tastes like Cheez-Its. It's like a perfect treat, kind of when you need to boost morale is when I'll bust this out. Then cabbage. One night we are doing meatballs again from Costco and cabbage. So I'll just take a cutting board and then slice this finely and it kind of makes cabbage noodles. And then again, I'll probably make one more thing of salad dressing. This is just so many healthy fats and gets those calories that those kids need in there. So slicing this up and then frying it in a little avocado oil with the meatballs. And then when it's done, putting a little bit of salad dressing over it. It's kind of like that keto crack slaw that everybody loves, but it's super easy to do while you're camping. Pickles are, my kids need probiotics, and so I'm gonna bring pickles. I'll transfer these over to a plastic container just to avoid having this jar shatter somewhere and make a huge mess. We covered salt and pepper. One day we will be doing pancakes, and these are coconut flour and almond flour pancakes, which I will pre-mix in, like probably I'm gonna get a bigger jar than this, but I'm gonna pre-mix the batter in one of these, and we'll do it like probably the second or third morning that we're there. So we're not gonna let it sit forever, but having the batter already done, so all you have to do is pour it in a stainless steel skillet, makes things super easy. This is our taco meat, and this is from our keto cooking class, and so it's just pressure cooked chicken that's been pressure cooked with a little bit of paprika, some salt, and a cup of salsa. And then I pre-baked cheese shells, and so these are a little bit underbaked. I'm gonna bring some parchment paper, and this sounds finicky, but the kids love it. And so you can put the parchment paper down in a skillet and then put these on, and they'll kind of re-melt and finish baking a little bit, or you could just do it as is, but then they'll be warm. So this with our guacamole is for our taco night. Tacos, everybody loves tacos. And then we have some half and half that we've turned into yogurt. That is our sour cream, a little bit less carbs. Almost done. So these are squeeze tubes. And this is something like, you'll see I don't have a ton of special equipment for camping. Squeeze tubes are super helpful for not getting, like, this has peanut butter in it. Peanut butter all over everything. And this actually, because we're on keto, isn't completely peanut butter. It's those peanut butter fat bombs that are on my site. And so it's a little bit sweeter. It has some monk fruit in it. And it has extra coconut oil in it, which has those medium chain fatty acids, which I think having healthy fats like that can actually help prevent sunburn. We do use Beauty Counter sunscreen. Anyways, I have 2 different fat bombs sort of as spreads to put on the pancakes, and we'll put them between, or put this between the pancakes and make sandwiches out of them as well. So just having the squeeze tube just eliminates having to wash that knife. Sometimes you just want something quick to eat, and like I'm not above squeezing a little bit of this on a spoon for my kids. So just those quick high calorie dense things. I think, what else do we have? Electrolytes. I don't, on the ketogenic diet, you need electrolytes, and especially if you're going up in altitude or you're not used to being outside a ton, you might be losing water. And this, having these in your body will help your body hold on to water and give you the electrolytes you need so you don't get like dehydrated and your muscles don't like start cramping up or anything. So we have sea salt, magnesium, which I don't put this in their water bottles. I just put like a spoonful in one of those camping cups, and then I fill the rest with water. And then light salt, which my kids do not take. I take. I'll just pour like half a teaspoon in my hand and then take that and chase it with some water. And that has the potassium in it. They won't do that, so I'll just like extra salt their food. Like their taco meat, I'll just pour some more salt on it. And then they'll retain more water. For keeping things cold, I just buy a couple gallons of water at the store. This is like spring water, I think. And then you pour out some so that it doesn't make a big mess when you freeze it, and then freeze this whole thing. It takes a couple days, but then it keeps your cooler super cold. And then if you need to, you have really cold water in there that you can drink Just an easy way. You can use a milk carton if you want, but it's like it's really hard to get all that milk out. And so I usually just buy a gallon or two of spring water and do it with that. So special equipment, I don't buy a ton of special equipment. Some of it is useful, like the squeezy things I think are really useful. The egg thing, except for we go through so many eggs that I need like 4 of those egg cartons. But in general, I don't buy a ton of camping equipment. We're car camping, we're not like backpacking. And so I'm not afraid to just use the cooler and kind of wash stuff. Like at the campsite that we're at, there is running water. Thanks for joining me. I hope that was super helpful for you. If you can give me a thumbs up, I would love that. Subscribe to my page, I would love that as well. And I hope that if you use these tips for going camping, let me know how it worked out for you, what you loved, what you didn't, what kind of hacks you have down below. And I hope you have a great camping trip. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.